All right, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the delay because Facebook was being a little bit fussy today on Wednesday. So welcome to Express Yourself. My name is George Alderetti. I'm the creative ambassador for Q North America. This one's especially near and dear to my heart. So I wanted to share with you how to make a little bit more money in the salon, or for those of you that are in the salon that maybe need to move a level. This is an easy way to increase your dollar amount, your service dollars in the salon by just doing an express service. So for me, this is something that I love to do because it's quick, it's easy and effective, and they love it. So have you ever been in the salon when a client is saying to you, you know what, I just need my touch up, it's not really within my means or my budget. And so what you think of is, how could I do something express to add it on? Maybe not with a treatment or a gloss, but maybe with a little bit of a color service. So this is a great way to add on to your service dollars in your color application, existing color application, and for maybe new clients that want to come into your salon and try something just a little bit different. Could you keep it on trend? Absolutely, you could. You could do something with a little bit of a blend or a melt. But today what we're going to show you is how to get a really beautiful dimensional color with a simple, quick foil application, and sometimes less than 20 foils and approximately 20 minutes to apply. So right there, there's your saving of time in the salon, doing a quick add-on and creating more income in your pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the very first one if you're ready. And if all of you are ready, just click on your hearts down there and just let us know that you're ready to get started. I'm going to share with you the very first technique. We only have 1 hour, so I'm just going to be going through 2 techniques this afternoon. I also want to introduce you. You're going to hear somebody in the background. Her name is Jessica Mills. She is our VP of Education and Shows. So she'll be on there helping me fielding any questions that you might have. Now, it's really important for me to interact with all of you since I'm on this side of the camera. So please just let us know if you like something, or if you even have a question, feel free just to chat it up and write us and ask the question, and we'll be able to get you the answer that you need. Now, if there's any questions that you might have that don't pertain to what I'm doing exactly at that moment, still ask, because this is all about color anyway. And if I can answer it for you, I will. I also did some head sheets. You're going to see those. You're going to see formulas, and you're going to see the application. Right now we're going to do the first one. I think in fall we're going to see a lot of warmth and a lot of autumn colors, coppers, and cool warm reds as well. So this placement is really, really simple to do. I also have head sheets that are up close. So what I'd like you to do is, if you're on your computer and if you know how to do a screenshot, make sure you take a screenshot when I pick up the head sheets to show you up close. I'm also going to have them behind me in a little bit. And the other thing is, if you don't know how to do that, then get your phone and take a screenshot, and you can have a screenshot of those head sheets. Although we will be placing them on my Instagram, which is now George Alderetti Colorboy Geo, and the other one is George Colorboy Geo or Colorboy Geo at Instagram. Also on Facebook, we'll be putting it in there too, so that you can see the head sheets, the formulations, and the mannequins that are the benchmarks for today. So like I said, we're going to go through 2. We did a brunette, we did a redhead, and I'll be sharing with you a few of those techniques in a minute. If you guys are ready to go, let Jessica know that you're ready by just punching on some hearts, and I'll get started in a moment.
We are ready. All the hearts are coming.
Cool. All right. So this first one that I want to share with you is this one. It's fun. It's really beautiful. It's got a lot of dimension, a lot of impact, and there was only 14 foils on this, if you believe it or not. 14 foils just to create all of that dimension with 2 colors and rotating them around a geometric shape of a diamond. So when you see this, if you can see it up close, is it close enough, Jess?
Yes, that is gorgeous, I have to say.
I love our reds. We have some of the best reds in the Red Infinity series, and we even have some beautiful reds in semi in the Red Infinity. And so what I'd like to do is, I wanted to create a little bit more depth in her color. So her base color, for you that you can see that, I'm going to show that. I'm going to just turn her around one more time. I know some people are jumping on, and I really love the spill and the emphasis in the fringe. This particular application was specifically designed for this type of haircut. So if you're looking at a haircut that's maybe mid-length to short, that would be the best application to do on this. This is going to be the technique to use. So this is perfect for you to see. It's up and through the top. See how it spills? You can create a shadow if you'd like, and you can also drag that through in the application, because I'm going to share that with you in just a minute. In the graduation, what I really love about it is that you get a really soft blend into the nape area, and the color just spills through, and it doesn't create a hard line because you break out that graduation. So I'm always thinking when I'm doing my application about the haircut. There's two things that I always teach, and that's the form of the head shape. Those are our fundamentals of form. And what that means by working in the round, you're going to be working with the natural shape of the head form and the natural fall of our haircut. And that's really important for all of you to remember when you're doing it. Sometimes we get into that automatic mode of just stacking and packing. So this will just help you to really think, be a little more creative in the chair, and give your client something just a little bit different and new. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to share with you that technique first. So what I've done is I'm going to put this over here, right about there. Can everybody see it? If you can, let Jessica know.
Did you do that haircut?
This one? Well, what do you think? I'm a colorist.
So who cut it?
Oh, just a friend of mine. A really good friend.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do now is I want to show you what we did was I took all of this area. This area would be the first base color that we're using on the formulation that you see back here. So I did use Tintacolor. The Tintacolor that I wanted to choose to create that deposition in that tone was in the Red Infinity series, and it's a 5.56. Now, for those of you that haven't used Cume Color before, what is a 5? A 5 is mahogany. So the first number is going to be your level 5. It's a mahogany, and then 6 is our red. So it's a level 5 mahogany red. That's the deposition that you're going to see throughout. And I'll just give it a little lift so you can see it right in through there. Okay? And that's the deposition that you see at her base. So just consider looking at my benchmark that I'm going to be doing the application on. This is going to be the color that you're going to be placing all underneath. In through the fringe, I left that out as an extra option for you because sometimes you want a more severity of the color, and you know those Mo Money pieces that we're getting out there and those clients are requesting them. So if you wanted just a little bit stronger accent, I left that out for an option, and I can share with you how to do that. And that would be an application of more back to back and through the front because you want a stronger, bolder piece working throughout. So let's begin if you guys are ready. So the first formula again, 5.556 Red Infinity in Tinta, and that's going to be with 20 volume, and it is mixed 1-to-1 equal parts. The second color formula is Lifting Color. For those of you that have not tried our Lifting Color is a beautiful high lift tone that'll give you 4 levels of lift. 4 levels of lift on natural hair. So would this color give you more brightness? Let's just say your reds may be dulling out and you want to intensify it. That could give you just a little bit more brightness by pulling it through, maybe with 10 volume or even 20, depending on the brightness that you want. You can also mix our mixed colors, our beautiful, beautiful direct tones that we have in both semi and in Tinta. And what you can do is, I would say use an 033, or you could use an 044, or you could even make more intensity with the mahogany by using a 5.5. So those are our mixed tones that you can add to your formulation to create more tonality and vibrancy, or maybe you need to neutralize something else. So we have that as well in the line. And I'll share those with you. I'm going to show you what they look like so that you can see them. So I have a swatch book right here, and they're in the very corner. So don't forget to use them because they're some of the favorites that I love to use. Can you see them? Jess, can you see them okay? Perfect. Just let me know. Okay. So they're down in the corner, and they're mixed tones, and they have a 0 because they don't lift, and then the numbers. So 10 would be a blue, and 11 would be a blue-gray. 033 is a gold, and 044, which I'm using today, is a copper. And that I love to use because it's just beautiful and intense, and it gives me that level of lift that I need. So here we go. So what we're gonna do first is we've done a base color. I have it mixed up. And what I'm gonna do right now is just to quicken it, I'm going to do the base as I work. Now here's the thing, somebody asked me earlier, Bill did, if I was gonna glaze, and I said, well then that really truly wouldn't be an express. Remember, you wanna utilize the color to do an express service. So that's why I use a high lift 444 in lift and color, and then that's why I'm using 746 in Red Infinity for the intensity, and that's the two color variations that you see here. So usually I've taught about how you can go 2 levels apart. In this particular instance, I went straight up the line. So I went 5, and then I did a 6, and then a 7. So that is going to give me that beautiful, beautiful shine. And I consider the 6 on the 444. This is a natural level 5. I did it with, I believe, 30 volume. So I'm just going to get that lift to get that beautiful bright copper in one step without having to tone it. So none of these were glazed or toned with our semi-color. They were all done as is to get the end result and to get an express service. So let's start. As you can see right here, we've done a triangle parting, and it's kind of rounded out. So what do I mean by that? It's kind of following the form of the head. I'm going to move my color over a little bit so you can see it. And I'm going to start not at the points, but on the outside of my diamond. That's the largest part of my diamond. So I'm going to start right here. And remember, I was talking about the fundamentals of form. I am going to do my first color, and I'm going to work on the outside of my stitch so that I have a broader, bolder piece of color to color in the application. And now I'm just going to apply my foil, work that in, and what you're going to notice with the foil is you can see that it's a diagonal back. So that's going to give me a lot of push of color. So the first color that I'm going to apply is going to be my base of my 556, and that is with 20 volume. Some of you might be asking, why don't you use 10 volume? Well, the reason why you don't want to use 10 volume is it may be a little bit darker, and if you want to refresh those ends or even brighten them up, I tend to go with the 20 volume. That's my particular preference and choice. Then my next color is going to be my 444, and you're going to see the intensity of that color. We're going to blend it in, and some of you have been watching some of our lives, and you've been seeing me do a lot of blends with different color variations because this is a 5 and this is the 444. It's going to give me a beautiful blend, and because it's a diagonal back and away from the face, it's going to give you a lot of forgiveness in your application. So you will not get a hard line. Then we're just going to take that foil and I'm just going to fold it up on itself right here. That's going to be my first foil application. And I know that some of you might want to see the head sheets. So what we've done is I've created some colorful head sheets for you to show you the sectioning and the color. And it's sort of like a propeller. And the propeller just kind of goes up around itself. So our first section, which is in this corner, if you can see that, that's going to be my 444. I'm going to work on all 4 sides of that diamond all the way around. So now I'm going to move myself to the back. I'm going to drop this section out so that you can see it. There it is there. I'm going to follow that curvature of that line. And if you want to take a slice, you can. But again, I'm going to work on the outside of that stitch. I've worked with slices in this area, and I will say this. What happens when you work with slices is the severity of the color is a lot stronger. But if you want a softer blend and a more natural blend for a client, then go absolutely do a stitch. So then there my packet is. Now this is diagonal forward. This is my base color. Again, I'm just tapping it in. I'm not really smudging it or giving it a root smudge or a shadow root. We're just kind of working it in because there's been times when I've worked and I had to paint everything in between the foils, and it's just more time. So this is going to help me to do her touch-up at the same time that she's already coming in for. She's already booked. And this is going to just help you there. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any questions that you might have. Now, this is all going to be 444 all the way around. We're not going to switch colors or alternate those colors. Now, on this side, we're going to also do a little bit of a stitch there. I'm going to work off that section. There it is. So that's section number 3. You can see it up on the flip chart. And this is going to be the application of the 444. 444 is our Tinta lifting color. We have 3 color choices that you can use that are beautiful to work with. We have the 444 copper, copper, copper. We have a 667, which is a beautiful ruby red. And then we also have a beautiful 666. Don't be frightened by that number. It's a beautiful red, red, red. So it's a beautiful, intense color. There's foil number 3, and then this is going to be foil number 4. Now, what's interesting about the application is when I'm working with this sectioning, I'm going to start going a little bit tighter as we move up. So as we move up onto the head shape, from the bottom to the top, it's going to get more narrow and more narrow. The sections are starting to become narrow. So it's like painting yourself into a corner. So do remember that, and when you're getting up there, sometimes you'll end up, depending on your hand, it's going to determine exactly what color you're going to use after you get to the top. So just remember that, keep conscious of that, and think about what is it that she might want to see. Maybe does she want to see more light on the very top, or maybe she wants to have a little more deposition for definition of color. So those are important keys and variables that you want to remember when you're working. So that's going to be my fourth section. There it is there. Yes. Great.
So, really, because you're working with such vibrant, beautiful colors, how do you preserve the application after service for more longevity?
Okay, so number 1, what you're going to do. I'm sorry, Bill, what are you saying? Okay. So what you want to do, let me just make sure I got that question correct. They want to know about longevity with these vibrant tones after the service and something to maintain at home. Is that correct? Okay. So first off, number 1 thing to remember is that we have an incredible after color program. And we have something called after shampoo and balsam. It's a pH of 4. It's got a vitamin E. And that's something that you can maintain it and stop the oxidation of your color, because we know that reds can tend to fade quicker. They will either do 2 things. They're going to brown out and be dull, or they're going to oxidize and get brassy. So what that's going to do is it's going to help to stop the oxidation, and it's going to allow you to maintain that color a little bit better. Then what I would do is I would prescribe you the color in Q, the new one that we just launched, and I would have them take home a custom shampoo or conditioner, and then you can add whether they need moisture or shine, whatever you might need, you can add that, and that'll also carry your color through until her next visit. You can also use that at the back bar in order to refresh, to have them experience. So now what I've done is I've worked to the corners, that's this section in the middle, and I'm just smudging in the base, and now I'm moving to the 746. We're going to work that through.
I have another question for you as well, George, when you're ready.
Yes, go right ahead, please.
How many weeks would you recommend to get retouched for this particular color?
Ooh, okay. I really love that question because it's something that I think we all think of. And I just want to get to that question. Let me just share with you this point really quick. I am leaving hair in between, and the reason why I'm leaving this amount of hair is because I'm going to paint my 556 in between everything, and the 556 is already applied here. Now here's what's going to happen, is this color is going to spill this way, this is going to spill that way, and that's going to spill on top. And that's what's going to give you the variation that you see in through the back. Okay? Now, back to the question. Could you just repeat that for me?
Sure. How many weeks would you recommend to get retouched for this color?
Oh, okay. So this is a good question because obviously it's an add-on service. So let's just say she's coming in 4 weeks and she's getting her application done for a base color. So that's going to be her touch-up, correct? So that's her 4-week period. Make sure to pre-book her and save the date. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to go up to the client. I give them the date. We have it in the front desk. All the 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and 8 week dates are already there. She writes it out. I save her the date and I hand it to her and tell you, I saved this date for you to come in 4 weeks on this day at this time. Don't ask, just do it. And I guarantee you're going to fill your book up quicker and you have a lot more longevity of your clientele and loyalty. So I would suggest the touch-up first. When she comes in, I would assess the color and look at it to see where she's at. And then if she needs to do a little bit more dimensional color, or even if she asks for it, that would be the perfect opportunity. But I probably would wait and do it on the 2nd. So in 8 weeks would be the optimum time to do a touch-up of this kind of service. So you would add it on to your touch-up service, and that would be approximately 8 weeks after you've done this application of your express service. Okay, so now you can see that they're sitting right in the middle. So you're going into each corner, and I'm just going to work it through. Speed it up a little bit so we can get through this so you can see. We're going to take, and I am working my stitch on the outside. So now I have a broader stitch so that you can see it. There it is. Going to apply it straight across, so that's our horizontal placement. This is going to be 556 RI Tinta. This is going to be 746 RI in Tinta. Working that through. And this would be beautiful if she had already color treated hair, because all you're doing is creating the dimension throughout, and then what you're going to do is you're going to refresh the ends in between those foil packets. So now you can see I'm taking that section out again, and as I'm working I'm creating more of a square on top. So it goes from a diamond to a square. We're going to work that in. 746. And I hope that you guys really get to try it because it's something that's a lot of fun to do. But I think that add-on services are probably going to be really strong right now. You know, sometimes they need a little bit of something different. Someone wants to feel like they have to change a little bit, and this is a perfect time to do it. All right, so now we're going to go to the other corners. Now we're going to be parallel to the first one that I did, and that's underneath. There's my other corner. Now we're turning it back into a diamond. So here's my section again. And I have to say, I just need to thank all of you guys because you've given such great comments in my DM on Instagram and on Facebook and on Messenger. So thank you so much for everything that, all the support and appreciation that you guys share.
So we have a question, and I know your answer, so it's time to plug our friends. What type or brand of foil are you using?
These, in particular, if you can give me that, these are called ethereal. They're about a medium grade, so they're easy to fold for me. And I'm going to show you the box in just a minute, so you can see them. They're some of my favorite tools to use. And they are by Fremar. So you can see here. And it's called ethereal. These are the pop-ups. So they do have them in a roll, and I hope that answered your question. They also have a new color that's been launched. I don't know what it is yet. Can't wait to get them. And they have right now for Pride Month here in Atlanta, they also have rainbow. So that's really cool. And it's cool to use different colored foils too when you're using different colors so that you can see and check your color and know exactly what to rinse first. So sometimes the dark you want to rinse first before the light. So there we go here. And as you can see, we're going to work to this other top, and that's going to be right here. And then I'll get you the other technique. There it is there. And the sections are becoming more and more narrow as we work up to the top. And now we're alternating it again, and now this is just the lifting color. Tinta's lifting color 444. I'm going to turn it for you so you can see. So now this foil is sitting in between those two foils. And I'll fold it for you there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work across this way. I will turn it around for you so you can see. There it is there. Is that good? Are there any more questions? Because I know there's some curiosity out there.
Not right now.
All right, well that's good that I'm answering all the questions that are being thought about in their heads.
Yep, and everyone is very thankful for good response.
Oh, cool. Well, I have a great person that helps me a lot with my social media, and a lot of you know Bill, but Bill is really always on it with me wherever I'm at. He's always telling me where to go. So now this next section, I'm just going to finish it off so that you can see it. We're going to work in those corners, and this is going to be the lightest of the two colors. So this is going to be my 746, smudging that 556. Oops, I don't have it there. So all you're doing is rotating each color in all four foils in each section. So 4, one color, the next 4, the next color, and the next 4, the next color. So you just alternate your colors in 4 instead of in 1. So there we go there. I'm going to go across.
We have a great question.
Okay.
Does the color expand in the foil packet?
No, it does not. I'm happy to say that the color doesn't expand. And if the color is expanding, then maybe in the way you mixed it, or maybe it's been left on a little bit too long, and maybe there might be a warm room or area. It just depends. But no, our color does not swell at all. Great question. Thank you.
And I'll ask that we say no heat at all.
Oh, thank you for that, because we do not recommend any heat. It's at room temperature is our process at all times, and we find that we get a more pure tone with a lot less fading. So this is going to be the last piece that you have left on the very top, and then you decide where you want to put what you're going to put. So what I'm going to do is, these were 746. I'm going to split that in half. I'm going to take that section, I'm going to go deep, drop that out, drop that deep out, and now I can do another 746 over here, and I'll have dark in the middle, and I'll get a beautiful blend on the entire foil application. So that's it, really simple, really easy. And if you count the foils on this one, I haven't completed it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, and then I would do another one here, 13, 14, that would be it. This is going to be your end result. I can show you that way. I'm going to hand that to Bill so you can see it. I'll bring that back later for a recap.
George, I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Is this considered a pinwheel placement?
Oh.
Is the first question.
Okay, so the question that I had asked was in a pinwheel. It is sort of a pinwheel, or even, it's not really round, it's on a geometric shape. So it is around in a circle, so it is more of a diamond. So it's not a pinwheel, but it is more like a propeller. So how's that? Instead of a pinwheel, I call it a propeller application.
Awesome. And then the second one was, would you consider this a parcel foil with root retouch?
Would I consider this a what foil?
A parcel foil with a root retouch.
All right, so all of you all know what I think about partial. I never use the word partial because that means partial payment. So, what I would say, it's a customized or it's a dimensional color express service, but you don't want to minimize it because our work isn't minimized by the little bit that we do. A trim isn't a trim. You charge for a haircut, right? So because I put 14 foils doesn't mean that it's a partial. It's just a quick, easy add-on to get them into a full-on service of dimensional color with a base color to increase your dollar amount. So could you call it a partial? Absolutely, if that's your wording. But in the salon, what we say is we starting point at, and it's a customized color. It's a specialty color. So that's really key. All right, so I'm going to move my, can we move on? You want to see the next one?
Yes.
All righty. So,
George, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt. Could you move to your right a little bit, my left? Or she's cut off, the mannequin's cut off a little bit.
Right there.
how's that?
1 second, there's always a delay here.
You're in fine.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so I am going to do this really beautiful, quick little face framing. But what I love is that it really looks and hugs tight to the head. It's a minimum of like a very small amount of foil. It's depending again on the hair and the density, how much hair, and the size of the head. You know, sometimes they have a big pumpkin head, sometimes they have a little peanut head. So depending on the head shape is always going to determine your sectioning. So just take the outline that we give you and then work it into whatever you're doing in the salon with whatever exists. And always, you know, when I think about color application and formulation, I think about what's there first. Now just remember this, you might want to take a note. The note is that this is a natural level 5 that I started with in order to achieve these looks. So when you look at this, this is just going to be a beautiful, beautiful brunette with a little bit of highlight and a little bit of dimension. It's going to go one side to the other. I'm going to get those head sheets for you so you can see those. And let me know if there's anything I need to cover that I may have missed in that demonstration, because that was demo number 1. So demo number 2, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using one of my favorites in semi-color. Her base color is semi-color 5.23 with red activator. So some of you are going to ask why red activator. The reason why I'm using red activator is because I know that I'm working on drier hair and I want to get that pure saturation that's going to have a little bit of a higher volume, and it's just going to open it up and get in there a little bit better for me and give me some more durability. So it's kind of like a refresh color but with a semi-permanent. So you can see all variations of the color right here, and you can see that beautiful tone coming through. So that's the 523. I alternated 2 other variations. I alternated my very favorite in Ultimate Blonde's High Lift, which is 15:31, and it's a ratio of 1:2, and that was with 30 volume. So you can see that, that's the darker of the 2 shades. And then my next was going to be, the other foil is going to be 2000 with 1 booster, because I only used half a tube, equal parts to 20 volume. I'm going to alternate those. This has not been toned, so it is on the warmer side. If you do, and I thought about that, and I brought home from the Academy an extra tube of 8.81. 8.81 would just soften out that tone a little bit. I might add a little clear and keep it a little bit higher, more at a, maybe at a 9, so maybe equal parts. And then I can just go ahead and glaze that for 20 minutes. It's gonna seem a little dark because the 881 has that brown in it, but don't freak out. rinse it out, and then it'll just really naturalize those warm tones that you see. So you can also tone that if you want, but you're moving from a regular technique and application into a full-on technique and application instead of an express. So let's get started. This sectioning is really easy. It's an easy section on the very top of the head. And it's a middle part. So it's on the very top. And it's just brought in a curve to the high point of the ear. That's the section here. This section we left out because we're going to just be working in through the face. I want you to do curved sections. So I want you to think of taking that curve and working that curve all the way down to the point of the brow bone. We're going to take that section out. Hope you can see that okay. Let me bring it forward just a little bit and over. How's that? Can you see that?
That looks good.
Okay. So again, I'm working because I want a little bit more impact. I'm working to that hairline, dropping that out, dropping this little piece out right here in the very front. And the reason why is because if I highlight that, it's going to be very severe when you look at it in the mirror, and it's going to be very strong. So now what we've done is we have our 5, 2, 3 at the base. Now we're just going to work through our 2000. We're going to work that all the way through. That's going to be the first color that I'm going to use because that's around the face, and that's the very, very piece that she's going to see, and I'm going to show that to you in just a little bit. I'm going to butterfly my foil. I'm going to leave another section out. We're going to curve that section again. There it is. You can see that it's very slightly curved. I'm going to work off my section, work on the outside, drop that piece out. Now this is going to be my 1531, and that's with 30 volume. I'm going to work that through. And if, let's just say she did have a longer layered haircut, you could really do this with just say the 1531 and then your 2000, do a blend and do an open face foil. And that would also give you a more on-trend hair color application. So there's my second butterfly, leaving that in because that's going to be your 523. I would usually paint this as I go so that I would save more time. I'm going to work up to the center part. There it is there. You can see that my subsection is a little bit thicker, and that's okay because I'm dropping that hair out and painting that later. How are we doing, Jess? What's the time?
It is, you have 15 minutes.
Oh
So
my-
I did start late, so if you run over a bit, we'll be okay.
Okay.
Everyone's permission.
If we have permission, let us know. Give us some hearts. Give me some love, everyone. And let me know if it's okay. We go a little over since we started with a slight delay. I always think, too, it's really interesting to do different types of packets and wraps because then the client starts asking you a little bit more questions like, what is that over there that they're getting? So it's a lot of fun to do just different types of foiling in the salon, and then we don't get so bored because sometimes it can get a little mundane in the salon. You can do the same thing over and over again. Now remember, I'll be tapping in the base 5, 2, 3 in semi-color and the red activator, and that's going to be one part of semi-color to 2 parts of the red activator. There's my foils there, nice and clean. Oops, that one ripped. That's gonna bug me. There you go. Sorry.
Hey, George, your shoulder is blocking you a little bit.
Oh, hell no. How's that?
Wrong
Is that better?
Hold on, let me catch up a minute.
Turn more. One more. Right there. Quick.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go way back here.
You're awesome.
So my shoulder does not get in your way. There's that.
Good.
All right, awesome. This is going to be, I'm just alternating those. Now, some of you are going to think, well, you just continue to the other side. You know what? Body position is your key element here. Body position is always the most important. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the center part, which I'm going to right now. Okay, there it is. Getting my shoulder out of your way. Hope you can see that. So body position is going to be really important. If I'm working from this side all the way directly, my body position is going to change entirely. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to work from one side and then I'm going to go back and work to the other side so that you can see the application. Here's something else you're going to notice. You're going to notice that it's going to fit onto that head, kind of like a hairband would be around the top front of the face on the hair. So that's really kind of a good visual to see exactly what you're doing as you're working. So we're gonna
So
go.
John says that all the guys that see you in the Netherlands.
Oh, tell John I said hello. How are the Netherlands? You know, I was just thinking about that because last year I was in Sweden, and I was in Copenhagen, and I was thinking, gosh, I really miss Europe right now because it's, you know, it was around Christmas time and it was beautiful there. Well, you tell everybody, give them everybody in the Netherlands my best regards, John. Thank you for that.
Now you're blocking yourself again.
Okay, there we go. Well, I do have to work.
I know, but I'm looking at your shirt.
All right, there you go. So what you're going to see now is you're going to see the blend. See that headband right there shaping? And then we're going to go to the other side, and this side is going to be easier for me because now I'm going to go uphill on my sectioning and start directly over the ear. My section is also curved, so it is from a high point of the head, broad all the way around to the ear. I'm going to take that section, drop that out, work on the outside of that section again, and start off with my lightest of the two colors, and that is going to be my 2000. Now we're going to work up there with that high point. Okay, I'll turn her around for you again so you can see it. There it is there. There's that there. Now this is going to be my 1500. This is a great technique to work on shorter hair. You know, they have a short back, they have a little bit longer front, and they want to create dimension. I think those are some of the questions that we always get. And that is, how do you do short hair? It's a little more difficult to control and to work with. But if you did a little bit of a headband or a face framing like this, this works really well. So there's that section. Working up to the top. What's that?
It's all exterior.
Yep, and it is all on the exterior. So that's why I'm working on the outside of my section so that you can see it dominate. The technique will, or the application will actually dominate visually when she sees it. So it's going to look like a lot more impact.
Wow.
And the reason why behind that is because I'm doing diagonal sections and I'm working on the outside of my subsection there. And I'm dropping out that end part in the front. And because I have a curved section, it's going to push that color out and away from where it lives. And that's what's going to give you a lot more impact.
Love that. George, I have two questions for you.
Yep.
Is that 1/2 inch or 1 inch sectioning?
Ooh, that's a great question too. It is a 1/2 inch subsection, and then from there I mix. So you are leaving half of that 1/2 inch out. Great question. Just remember this, that when you're doing that kind of any type of application of foils, okay, everything that you leave out is going to visually affect the color that you have in the foil. So everything you leave out is just as important as what you put in. So just remember that, because that's something that we forget, and if we're packing those foils in and wanting to give her a huge impact of color, we may not, if we don't consider the subsection. How's that? Can you see that?
Yes.
Question 2. Hold on.
Yep.
If you want to make the color more dramatic, can you use slices instead of stitches?
Great question. So, could I make the color more dramatic by doing slices or stitches? Yes, but it's also where you place it. So let's just say that I placed my color and it was a stitch right here. If I do a lighter, bolder piece of color here and then go back to back and then do it again, it'll be dominant in the bottom area by doing 2 back to back, even if it's a stitch. If you do a slice, you'll also get that same result, but just imagine where you want that color to lay later. But that was a great question. It is really important, depending on your color choice and depending on your application, how vibrant that color is going to be. So that was a great question. Thank you for that. Who was that?
That was Debbie, our friend from
Oh, hey, Deb. She's like my new lost friend.
Yeah, and would you do slices on the back, or are you coloring?
Oh, you read my mind. So, if you look over at the head sheet, Bill, would you give me those head sheets really quick? The brown ones. So if you look at the back really quick, because what I've done is I've created head sheets too that are up close in case you can't see them. But what we've done is we've taken a section into the back, and I've actually done diagonal forward in the back, and I did do slices. And the diagonal forward piece here, because remember this is a solid shape. So I want you to see this because it is more of a graduation in throughout the back, but I want it to be asymmetrical, so it's going from short to longest, and you get a really nice blend of that color with those sections. These were slices, but because it's diagonal, it appears more dimensional. So that was a great question. The other thing too is, because we're just doing a few in here, just the area right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, what you're gonna do is you're going to get a strong variation of colors working through all that color. I'm going to spat a little bit of lightener on there. There we go. So you can see the dimension in the color that goes all the way through. And even as it's traveling all right in through here, it's going to travel all the way through the length of that haircut. Great questions. Thank you, guys.
And one more. How many foils in total do you think you're going to use?
Ooh, we're gonna check. We're gonna count them right now.
Awesome.
So we'll let you know, and you guys can count in your head with me when we finish and complete this one. So again, here it is. I have done this. Now here, just a really quick, tip. We're gonna go in right here, take that out. We're gonna go in right here, take that out, and we're going to color this. That's the center part, and the reason why I'm doing it is that can be really troublesome if you don't split and leave out natural hair or natural hair there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag my sectioning in that center part a little further away than directly onto that scalp. You want to work it a little bit further out. And I'm ending with 2000. So, here it is here. When we look at it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you can see that. How does that look? And if you look at the back, you can see the curvature of the head. It's just like a headband. It's going to follow the shape of the head. That's what's going to do now. My other option would be to do the back, and I would get that variation that we have here. So your head sheets are here. We'll put them on our Instagram so that you can see them. And just to recap, so this sectioning, I did 2,000, one booster. Can you see that? And when you look at it from behind, you can actually see the round of the head. You can see how perfect that is, and it sits right on itself. This is the end result. 523, 1531, and Tinta 2000.
Awesome. So a couple questions.
Yep.
Why do you fold your foils twice?
So, I'm in that habit. That's my habit. Some people like to go underneath and then fold it once. I got into the habit of doing a lot of open face and then doing a saran wrap on top or a non-cling wrap. I went back to my old foiling and packing techniques that you would use in a salon environment, and I had more control of it by doing it twice, folding it, and cutting it in. My understanding though, when people do that, is they're fearful of getting a line of demarcation or a digit. So it's the application and it's the way you fold it. And I usually have very good luck with my folding of my foils. I don't have any issues at all with them. So that's a great question.
Systematic in how you do your application.
I do. It's for me that count is good, and then I make sure it's locked in that way. So that's just the way I was taught back in the day, and it's stayed with me. I've tried other methods, and I like them, but this one for me is the most comfortable. So I recommend if you're going to do any of the techniques, do it the way you do it at home. Just remember the pattern. Okay? Then the second one that we did, where's the application, Bill?
Also, what is the difference between butterfly foiling and ordinary packets?
It's prettier. I'm just kidding. You knew I was going to say that. The butterfly packets, that's a great question. Remember how narrow this section is right in through above the ear? So if I'm doing that, if I lock it in, someone taught me this a long time ago, and her name is Beth Bernardi. And she would butterfly them, and I asked her the same question. It helps the control to lock in that small vicinity of hair that you have in the foil. So by butterflying it, it just locks it in. Because remember, I have to paint in between. And when I paint in between, I want less movement as possible on that color. So that's why I do the butterfly, and that's the difference between the butterfly and the normal square packet that you see over here. So this is going to be the propeller. This is going to be what it looks like. First color all the way around. Base color is 5.56 RI. Right? And then after that we did 444. And then after that we did 746 RI and all the way around. So we worked one color in all four sections, squares, and then the next. And this is still the color that you're going to get afterwards. Can you see that?
Yes, beautiful.
Okay. And that's the color variation. So this is the technique. And this is going to be the end result. So this is the haircut. The graduation is very slight, but it's really got a beautiful bend into the 556. So you can see how that color just melts right into it. So that's important. And again, none of these were glazed. I used the after color program with color after color shampoo and the balsam, and that was it. And then I blow dry. And when I did blow dry, I used very little of the blow dry gelée. I like to keep it really natural when I'm doing programs or shows because it shows off the color more and it doesn't interfere. So I just want to share both of these again with you guys. I hope you like them. I hope you can use this technique back home in the salons. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me at George Colorboy Geo anytime, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Jessica, are there any more questions before we say goodbye to everybody? How are we doing on time?
No, great segment today. Thanks everybody for joining us, and join us Monday.
Yes, join us Monday. What's happening on Monday?
Courtney Von Berg.
Courtney Von Berg.
Monochromatic trends.
Ooh, monochromatic tone-on-tone colors. I love that. I think that's going to be a great one to see. I can't wait to watch. So, again, thank you everybody for joining us on this Wednesday for Express Yourself. Take some of these express techniques that I shared with you. Take them home, make them your own. I really appreciate your time today. We just want to send all our love to you, all you Q users and all you new users. Please join the club. So I'll talk to you guys.